Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lokalfeed show. Today's special guest is Sam Low. Sam Low is a visual artist, also known as Klo. Sam became a household name, if you don't know who they are, in Singapore after being arrested for spray painting on a public road in 2012. This arrest sparked a local debate over the state's definition of art and vandalism. So I had such a good time catching up with Sam and what they've been up to these days. On this episode, we talked about how much they've grown as an artist and as a person since the whole saga in 2012, their creative process and how they deal with negativity in any form, and the importance of learning, sharing from others, and putting your work out there, no matter how difficult or how scary it can be. So before we jump right into it, remember, be bold and stay inspired. So without further ado, here is Sam Low. Okay, hi Sam.
Hello.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. I mean, most of us, I know who you are. If you could share a bit about Sam Low. Sam Low. And I'm going to ask you later, I want to ask you this question, which I know the answer to, but I just want to kind of ask you. Okay, go for it. Sam Low.
Okay, that one's got me curious already. So, my name's Sam Low. I'm a visual artist and I go by the tag name Sklo.
Sklo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a love-hate relationship with name Sticker Lady?
Yeah, when I first had it and heard it, I hated it. Still hate it because I don't identify that way. But it's something that stuck with me. So I have no choice but to embrace it lah. I felt like, when I hated it, the more I hated it was because I didn't want to be pigeonholed. And at the same time, I felt like the word lady was just not very suitable for me.
Okay.
But I felt like the more I ran away from it, right, the more I was running away from my past as well. So now I've come to embrace that lah. So
okay, wait.
Yeah.
So was this the media that actually pasted the Sticker Lady to you or the public?
Mr. Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he just didn't know my name at that point. No one really knew my name at that point. So they just this person who did the sticker lady, I guess. So I think that's how it probably came along.
Okay, but you're more than that, right?
I tried very hard to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a bit. We're just going to talk a bit about that stint, right? In 2012, right? If I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So because I know when that happens, right? What were the things that were going through your mind? As in, was it very frightening? Well, I don't know whether frightening is the word, but
It was, yeah.
It was?
Yeah, it was. Seeing 5 or 6 plainclothes policemen in your house is very disarming. It was pretty scary. It's something I never thought would happen at all. So when it did, it was just I can't believe it was really happening. I was kind of in shock as well. So yeah, they came to my house, wanted to search my room. They found the stuff, went to lock up, and then one whole year of the case just dragging on now. So it was what was in my mind at the point of time was just my friend who was with me and wanted to make sure that he knew that what was happening. Wanted him to be okay. He was on a flight to Australia.
Okay.
He was at the airport boarding gate already, and this happened to me. So it was a shitty trip for him. And yeah, my friends, I wanted them to know that what's happening. So my parents already knew, so I didn't want people to worry. Surprisingly, when I was in lockup, it was very peaceful.
Okay.
I was very worried about what was going on outside, but essentially, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is just go through with it. Yeah. When I did it, I knew that it's illegal, but I wanted to do it. So when you get caught, you just own up to it. So that's basically what happened lah.
But were you expecting that to happen though?
No man, my stencils and my stickers were out in plain sight in my house. I wouldn't expect it at all.
You wouldn't have expected it to be to the extent of
Yeah, because
right.
because my sign off was just a logo. You can't even pronounce it. You can't even read it. You know, that's how I got that damn name sticker lady as well, because no one could like read a tag and sign off. So kind of fucked myself over in that one already. But yeah, the logo itself was just the sign off as well. But how they managed to like put it together was something that I didn't expect them to actually be able to. But I think it was social media that actually led to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually quite interesting. Like, how do
Yeah.
you know? Because you were anonymous, right? In a sense.
Yeah, and so my mistake was like the first sticker I put up, I actually posted it up, and it was press one scan already. And so like ever since then people associated it to my work, and so every time you saw it outside they'll tag me. And I think that's really how it went to shits lah, you know. It went on for a really good period of time though, and then when I did Grandfather Road, it had that same sign off. I think that's how they pieced it together.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of like dig deeper in the sense that you mentioned that what was going through your mind, like literally going through your mind. I know you were worried about other things and all that, right? But and I know that after that period, you went on a hiatus for about 3 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years.
2-3 years. What led to that?
Because I really didn't want to be pigeonholed. The thing is that when I got caught and like this whole like controversy happened, like from vandals to artist, and literally I didn't know anything in terms of art. Like I didn't know how to paint, I didn't know how to draw or anything like that. All I knew was like Photoshop and Illustrator, and even that I wasn't even that good at. So because people were like, oh, you're an artist now and stuff like that, and I literally had no idea what to do with my life at that point in time. So I wanted to, if I really enjoy doing this, I'm gonna keep going at it, and I'm gonna try and see what else I can do. Hating the sticker lady name as a pigeonhole was one thing. That was one of the motivations, but I wanted to prove to myself that I could do more than that.
Okay.
So the hiatus was because it was my incubation period. It's something that I feel like I owed myself. And so that's when I just like focused on like doing personal works, like learn how to sculpt, learn how to do like watercolor, learn how to paint and different things like that. So that really helped me lah.
Okay, so that's like kind of like your it's not really an escape, but like a safe space in that sense, because taking yourself away from everybody else and the noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It was traumatic, to say the least, at that point in time. I mean, it sounds a little bit dramatic to say it, but it really got under my skin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it wasn't so much of the arrest per se, it was like the attention that it brought. The media was just vicious, and there was just so much noise. So when I took myself away from it, it was something I needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one I'm gonna ask you, since like your mental health, your mental state at the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't imagine how it must have been for you. I mean, plus, I mean, online, I guess there are those like keyboard warriors, right? Like,
Yeah,
just,
you
like,
cannot stop people
shit.
from saying anything. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So how did you deal with that?
Just stop reading. No, seriously, it's as easy as that. Because when it first happened, right, I was reading everything for the first few days, and it was just consuming me, you know? It was really, really tough. So, people, like my friends advised me to like just not look at it and just stay away from it. It was just, you know, it's like an itch you just can't stop scratching, right? And when people say something about you, you want to know what it is. So I had to tell myself,
kind of like, no, but that's not true, right? Do you have that kind of
yeah. And the thing is that I couldn't say anything as well in my defense, because I it was best that I was advised not to. In a period of time. Yeah, so it was just watching from here lah. Yeah. Okay. It's quite a shitty time.
Wow, I mean, that must have been. I mean, you put through that.
A lot of people, you notice in recent years, a lot of people who have been like called out and stuff as well have also been through something like that as well. So it's hard lah, no matter who it is.
Online is just
crazy, right? Yeah, like, you know, it's like everyone has this platform now, social media. Everyone has a voice, definitely. It's just now it's more amplified. Yeah.
I mean, if it's for like, I mean, if it's for positivity, but you don't go around bashing people online, you know. But it happens, right? I mean, that's the platform that...
I mean, everyone has the right to say something that they want. Yeah.
I agree. It's whether how you kind of like...
It's whether you choose to be offended by it or not. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that hiatus kind of like, no, I know that it made you stronger, in a sense, right? Because then you kind of like refocus back, you kind of refocus and see what you wanted, whether you really wanted to get into this line.
Yeah.
But this wasn't something that you wanted to do from the start.
No,
right?
man.
Okay, that's what were you into before this?
I was actually running Recognition, which is this platform for Singaporean talent. I started it in 2008. Ran it for a couple of years. At the same time, I was working at a creative consultancy. So I was working with local artists and creatives and with brands as well. So we did events and everything. And also I was studying. So I had so much energy back then. And I was doing like the design thing on the side because I wanted to try and improve my website and stuff like that. So my plan after I graduated was to just set up an agency where I could like, provide a bigger and better platform for the artists rather than just an online place. But yeah, 2 days after getting my degree, I got arrested. So technically, it didn't really work out.
But I mean, I guess it's a different plan. I mean, you were meant to do different things.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I still do want to do that. It's just that it's hard. I mean, I guess I don't have the acumen to do it as well. So maybe art is like the way for me to go. Yeah, and it's the longest job I've had, like 8 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you are also known as the self-taught visual artist, right? That was self-taught.
Yeah, I guess so.
You literally teach yourself everything from scratch.
Well, I mean, I owe a lot of like the spray painting and like, drawing to my friends, my crew, and also to my ex who's actually an artist.
Okay.
So I learned how to draw. I mean, she was a tattooer and she is a tattooer, and I learned how to draw from her. So that's one of the people that I really am really grateful for. The crew as well, when we used to go bombing and everything in like different countries. So I learned like can control.
Okay, wait, sorry. Yeah. In case, I mean, not
okay. So the term bombing, right, actually refers to spray painting.
Okay.
Like, pieces and tags, like quick ones outside.
Okay.
They are not sanctioned.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a term. That's just it.
Okay.
Yep, just it. Okay. Yeah. So when we go outside, and then like I learned how to like do a quick piece in like maybe like a minute. So we were like, there's this one time we were in Manila, and it's like high traffic, and then our friend who is a local, he was like, okay, this is a great highway, you only have like 1 or 2 minutes tops to finish everything. So we were just like, shit, don't care, just do, So I learned a lot about the culture. I learned a lot about the techniques and everything like from the crew. So
wow. That's okay. So
yeah, I mean, everyone in a creative community have like definitely played a part in my journey. Okay. I did learn a lot of shit on my own as well, and I always was able to go to them for advice. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, so the community is kind of like they're willing to kind of like share whatever they.
Yeah, I mean, we're so small. We always help each other out. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back a bit about the self-taught, right? Has anyone kind of like approached you, because being self-taught, okay, I'll give you an example for myself. A lot of things that I've like self-taught myself, but then we have this like kind of like imposter syndrome. Of course. Like whether I'm doing this or with someone, what I mean? Do you have that?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think about it. Just like keep it in the back of your head and like thinking if like, if you really like doing what you do and then you know that and trust yourself that you definitely want to learn all that you can about it, then yeah, you may not like do the same foundation as a lot of other people. You may have gone in different ways and stuff like that, but like as long as you enjoy doing it and you're doing it well, to your best capacity, then ability or whatnot, I mean, that's okay, right? I mean, that's why I tell myself, I do, because I didn't have like art background or anything like that, so I felt like I was at a disadvantage. So some people say it's a good thing that I didn't go to art school, you can think outside the box and stuff, but I do have those insecurities that I'm not doing things right. Well, I feel like we just have to learn as we go.
Yeah. But again, I feel like who will say what is right or what is the right way and what is not? Is that
years of research and foundation?
I agree.
Yes,
I agree. But to a certain extent, I feel that there's some people, I guess, approach it in a very different manner. Like you see it, like you mentioned just now, right, out of the box perspective, right? I mean, if you went through the schools and all that, it's like there's a certain thing that you feel that is like academics and street smart. right?
Yeah,
Does-
yeah, yeah.
right?
Correct. Yeah. Same logic.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So if you go to academic route, you have like these like stages, right, of like things. It's all compartmentalized already, and it's all like organized. So it's rather rigid to a lot of people when it comes to like creative work. So I guess I can see that point of view, but it's just something that I feel is unavoidable for myself when it comes to like the imposter syndrome thing, because that those insecurities are real. All you have to do is just like push it aside and just like, if you enjoy doing it, that should be enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you push that aside, right? Does it like, I feel that sometimes there is a backlog and then one day you just kind of like,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
but you just got to deal with it, right?
Just deal with it.
right? Everything is just,
I'm here not because I have the answers. I'm here because I'm just trying my best, man.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do feel, and you kind of like get through it. I mean, support system, is that important?
For sure, very important. Yeah, support system is like, other than just talking out how you feel about something or like bouncing off ideas and everything, a support system is so important rather than getting stuck in your head so much. I mean, I get stuck in my head and I go on loop, but I realized like how I learned how important a support system is, because that really got me through some of my darkest times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so did whatever that you've been through or whatever that you went through is something that right now you got those gigs? Do people really ask you that, or do you get kind of like, no, it's because I work my ass off to get where I am today?
Honestly, right, a lot of people thought that it's because of what happened to me back then. That's why I got all these gigs now. And it is very, like, a bit annoying lah, I mean, yeah, probably there's some truth to it, yeah. But I have also, like, put in I feel like there's this need to justify myself or validate myself in what I've been through to, like, try to oppose that, and try to, like, prove that I can do more and then earn my stripes, So that is definitely, it can be a, like, sensitive area for me. But truth be told, yeah, there might be actually some truth to that. That case did bring a lot of attention to myself and my work. But the thing is that now when they refer back to me, they do remember some of the older works that I've done. But recently I've been commissioned to do works that I have been doing. So I think that's the difference. They're not asking for like the Limpe stuff or like the black and white circle stickers. They're asking for the works that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So I see the difference. Yeah. So yeah.
You've mentioned earlier on, right? You've literally evolved. So what is the process for you?
Right. Okay. So the thing is that what I've noticed is for the works that I've been commissioned, they are looking for something that's hyperlocal. The thing is that is the common thread, like from the first works that I've done up till now. So it's always been very like Singaporean and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the signatures that I have. So when it comes to the creation process, it starts off with like, that spark or the inspiration. But before that, what's really important is the research. So it could be just from observations or walking around, reading up about like a certain issue, or take for example the Shake Shack mural. That was actually a lot of walking around the area and like taking note of like different things in the architecture, and learning more about it actually. So it's from there that I'm able to like catch a couple of things that catch my eye, that are intriguing, that I want to include in the artwork itself and like bring more attention to. And so my style has always been very collage like when it comes to technique, when it comes to visual like execution. So be it from like the very first paintings I've done, they all have like cutouts or like collages that put together wheat pasted things. Now instead of being wheat pasted, it's painted. So it's a collage kind of style again. So I put like different things that I like together and like make it into and compose it so that it be a harmonious piece, which is what I want to bring about in the works. So that's pretty much for the murals that I do, for the other artworks that I've done. But now I'm like experimenting in different ways of collaging, and I'm hoping to invoke some kind of mood and feeling from, and try to like accurately represent and reflect how I feel.
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
But so far, has the work that you do accurately or closely reflect on who you are as an artist?
Yeah, for sure. Like, say, the evolution part of it, for example, I only did black and white. Black and white and red. I was never confident in colors.
Okay.
Like, seriously, I never... It's just hard, man. Colors are still hard for me. But over the years, I learned to inject a little bit more, and I started having more fun with it. Because I used to stay away from it because I was so scared of using and touching color.
Okay, I mean, I don't come from a creative background. Why is it hard to kind of like...
Because you know when you imagine, right, if you were to put like two colors that don't make sense together, then you add in another one that also doesn't make sense, and then you're like, how do I undo all this shit? You know how I mean? I don't know how to say it, but like it's just something that didn't come naturally for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to create a mess in a way?
I guess like in the back of my head is always like, how do you edit it so that it's okay? How do you like undo? Is there a way to undo?
Okay.
I don't know how to say it, but anyway, when it comes to colors, it's just composition is so important, and I've just never had proper training, or like I didn't really know if I had a good eye for it. So to play it safe, I always went with black and white and red. That's it. But as time went by, I wanted to try different ones, and I always like seeing like how everyone used a lot of color in their works, and then I think like maybe I can try it. And my best friend Soph, she is the one who actually really got me inspired to try it, because her work is so colorful.
Okay.
All these different forms and the compositions are so interesting, and so it was from there that I got like more daring to try.
Soph is the one that you did as stickies. Is that the one or no?
The 3M ones?
Oh yes, 3M.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we actually we've done quite a lot of murals together.
Okay.
Quite a few murals together. It could be more. Like in India, we did this like giant train station. So it was that project where I was already experimenting more with color, and then working with her actually taught me more.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was great. And ever since then, I've just been putting more and more color into my works and trying to like play around with composition more. So it's still a work in progress, still learning about it. So, but that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's like I mean, you could see yourself evolving and growing in every bit of art piece that you actually put out there.
Yeah,
right.
and, yeah, exactly. Because I'm still learning about all these things, right? So I always want to try and make it like better, or like every project I do is always something a little bit different, be it in technique or in the composition or in the thought process. So that way I know that I can do those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like it's quite amazing, as in, especially this kind of like visual artwork, right? It's just amazing how your mind. I mean, all the visual artists or whoever's out there, right? How your mind kind of like works out the.
Like how to put it together,
how to put it
or like what
together.
you're gonna what's the
Yeah.
subject matter and all that. That really intrigues me up to now as well. When I see other artists' works, like how do their brains work?
Yeah, right.
And like how did they come up with concepts like that? And I was so amazed, especially like surrealist like artists as well. It's like, how are they able to conceptualize something like that? That still intrigues me, because we are so used to seeing things in like a process kind of thing,
Yeah.
or like a block by block, or like a very logical point of view. That's probably inculcated in us when we were studying in school. So it's hard to stray away from that, because there is a system to it. And so we always view things in that linear function.
Yeah.
So when it comes to something that's creative, it's intriguing. We can't wrap our heads around it. And I think that's our education system. You know what I mean?
True.
I don't know how to say it in
agree.
like a longer way, but
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to a certain extent, when I was younger, I took design and technology. I mean, it was work and all that. So I knew there were people who took art, but art wasn't. I love to build things from my hands, like measure and all that. And they, of course, that one we have to kind of measure accurately. And
Isn't that D&T?
D&T, correct?
I love that.
Yeah, I love D&T.
Yeah.
But I can't do the art bit. I don't know how to explain this to
I
you.
know what you mean. It's like two different brains.
Yeah. Two
right?
different brains, correct.
Yeah, so when it comes to like design, it's more like mathematical. It's more like form and function. That's all like it's more linear.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it's not linear exactly, but like there is a system.
Correct. There's a system of yes.
You have to measure it, then like you kind of like make sure, like for example, even like bending the acrylic sheet or like whatnot, right? You get the right degree.
Yeah.
But for art, it's like freer than that.
It's like free form.
Correct.
Okay.
And like just how do you use it? There are still some principles that you can actually employ in doing so that actually does have like hints of design in it. Like for example, they say the golden ratio. That's
Okay.
one thing, right? That's an example of how, like, I mean, there are a lot of artworks that actually use the golden ratio, and it can be seen as a design kind of aspect, I guess. I mean, I didn't go to school for this, so don't quote me on it, but like, basically, that I feel like there are hints of those principles in artwork.
Okay.
That's what makes it very harmonious.
So, okay, following the scuffle, right, with the authorities in 2012, do you find that it's somewhat of an irony that the government agencies kind of like render your services and put forth the work to kind of like attract tourists, you know? You know what I mean, right?
We gotta earn money, man.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta put food on the table and stuff. I think it's funny lah, it's I don't make too much of it. I don't really think too much about that, or like, yeah, I don't really think so much about it now. I mean, it's been 8 years. When I first got this project with my crew, it was with LTA, and I remembered feeling that sense of irony at that point in time, because it was the LTA that complained about me, and that's how I got arrested. So when I did that project with them, it wasn't directly with them. It was like an agency hired us, and the agency was working with LTA, and that was how we did the project. So that was like an irony. Okay, but I was also quite a cheeky bastard as well, and I was like thinking I could get away. I don't know, I was just a different mindset altogether. I was just damn naughty lah, okay? But then at the point of time, that was when I really felt like, oh, it's so ironic, what the hell. Now when I think back, right, I'm like, okay lah, like that's just what it is. And then when I work with the government agencies now, it's like, okay, like I'm a visual artist. I had a past. I did all that stuff before, and now as a visual artist, I want to do what I know I can do best. That I want to do best, and I just wanna fucking do what I want. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter for who or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, not doesn't matter for who or what not. I mean, I'm not anti-government per se. I mean, I do find a lot of problems in some of the things that are being done that is like restrictive to people. I mean, human rights and all that other stuff. Like, there are issues here that we can fix, definitely.
Sure.
But I think a lot of people think that I'm anti-government because I'm a street artist when I first started out. And that's the thing. It's a romanticized version of it. And that in itself would restrict me from doing what I want to do. And it's essentially, I just want to be free of all that shit.
Yeah.
So as a visual artist in Singapore, it's a very unique spot. If your background does come from urban art or street art, it comes with this romanticized version of like what everyone thinks it should be, but it's just a different situation here.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to limit myself to just that. I do want to like do more things. So essentially that is how I view things now. I'm a visual artist. I have my own set of beliefs. It doesn't involve like hating the government. I am critical of it, but I love the people enough to want to like see some change as well. And at the same time, I do want to push forward the causes that I believe in. So there are still some people I don't want to work with, and I've turned them down as well. But I think it's just all personal preferences.
And you have the choice and you have the power to kind of do that, because
everyone has the power to do that.
That's
it's just whether they choose to or not. But we all have different circumstances as well. Yeah, correct.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your perception of this word selling out? I mean, you really actually shared with that, but
selling out your own belief systems and principles, I guess. Like, for example, I am openly gay, and if I were to do something for an organization that doesn't support people like me, but I still want to get the money, then probably that would be selling out, I guess. To me, that's how I see it. But I think it's very personal though. I mean, I feel like that word is just a lot of negative connotations because people call you with it and they have the power when they use that word on you, and you let that affect you. But to each their own. Like, to me, like, I don't feel if I'm doing something, I'm the only one who decides whether I'm selling out or not.
Yeah.
And for what.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, I mean, a few factors that comes in. First of all, circumstances, right? The other bit is like, who are you to kind of like, you don't know my whole story. You don't know why I do that in the first place, right? I mean, for you to kind of like saying that you're selling out and all that, that's just
it's easy for you to make comments, like as we know, like, you know, it's easy for people to say anything.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to say anything as well. Yeah, and it's just up to you lah, but how you want to take it. I always feel like it's whether you choose to be offended by it or not. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's through years of learning through the...
Have to be thick-skinned, have to like push your insecurities to the back of your head. You have to... Words of advice for people aspiring to be artists.
Yeah. Okay. Thick skin. I mean, that's one. I feel that is something that, like, okay, putting your work out there itself is a bit scary already.
Yeah, I stopped thinking about that. I just put it
Just
on.
do it. Just do it.
Just
right?
had to stop thinking about it. Just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, as a freelancer or as a creative who's freelancing, you kind of have to do that because that's only how you get visibility, and then you can get more like jobs and stuff like that. We always like trying to push ourselves out as creatives who are like freelancers as well. I mean, you're kind of working for yourself. So yeah lah. I mean, it's part and parcel of the whole game.
Okay. I mean, talking about freelancing and talking about, you know, making money, commission work and all that, right? I mean, the question that sometimes we do get, a lot of people get is like, especially in the art scene, right? Is it something that can actually be a career or that can make you money?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a long
Everyone
pause.
always says that arts cannot make money, which is it's a lot of hard work as with everything, and it's not definitely a linear job progression like a lot of 9-to-5 jobs are. There's a lot of give and take. Like my fiance, she works a 9-to-5. Some days she's like, I wish I was a freelancer because, like, you know, I don't do well with authority. and then like I'm like, I don't do well with authority either, but like I don't have a set amount of money every month, and I have to keep like putting myself out there, and also like I worry about the next project, whether I'll be able to get it or not. And it's not stable lah. It's not easy, definitely. That's why I want to make sure that I actually enjoy what I do and not let that get in the way of whatever I want. So in a sense, if you're already doing something that is not a 9-to-5, or like, sorry, how do I say this properly? If you're doing something that you love and you're making money from it, make sure that you love doing it. They say like, if you love drawing or like if you love cooking, right, don't go and be a chef because you end up hating it. Some people actually say that.
Okay.
Have you heard that logic before? Like, you know, if you really like doing something, don't go and make it a job. If not, you'll hate it.
Yes,
because there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Correct, right?
Correct,
like, you know, you kind of like, you end up hating what you love doing. So I guess it applies to some people. For me, sometimes creating work itself, especially if it's like stuff that already has like a brief and like I have to stick to those things, it can feel a bit like claustrophobic. So I want to make sure that I'm always excited about it. That's why I put little challenges into each ones I do. So you gotta make sure that if you're doing something that you love for a living, and it's a little bit harder, make sure you love it.
That's true. Which I agree. Because I'm just thinking back and thinking of the things that I've done, whether there are things that I thought I loved and hated. Because, you know, it does get difficult.
It does.
It does get difficult. And then sometimes on the days when you think like, why did I do this, or what did I get myself into, in that sense, right? But I mean, again, I feel that once you see the bigger picture or the things that you really, really love, I mean, there would surely be something that you dislike about the process or dislike about whatever. But the thing is, your love for it must be.
I've learned something recently, actually. Because from the time that I did, actually for the past few years, I haven't really stopped doing commercial work, and it was something that I've done constantly. And I love my clients a lot, and I want to do my best every time. But it did feel like it was weighing down on me a lot because I felt like my headspace was just thinking about how to make the work really great. Or like I just spent so much time on it that I neglected my personal practice. So there are like long periods of time where I'll just be doing these works but nothing for myself. And I thought I was doing things for myself even though it was commercial, but by adding all these little challenges and trying different techniques with each project, I thought I was doing for me. But I got so tired, lethargic. I was really putting on a face, like a very happy face, which I really was, you know. I was very proud of the work that I'd done, but I felt like a little bit of myself was missing. So I thought it was my headspace. I thought I was just so tired and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And then I realized, I spoke to my manager and she was like, it's not that, it's just that you're bored. And I'm like, I never thought of it that way. I didn't think that I was bored. I just thought I was tired because all I wanted to do was nothing related to art. I mean, I was not doing commercial work. I just wanted to play video games. I just wanted to like watch TV. And I thought that was how I could recharge myself. Turns out it wasn't. When she used the word bored, and then it clicked for me. It was another way of viewing it that I could exercise into my life. So instead of like thinking that I was tired, lethargic, and I wanted to get away from art, I could just do something for myself because I love making art. So now, ever since then, I've been like more productive and like having fun with my own like works. I can do literally anything and try and keep improving it. And that was that was the energy that I had before, and I found that again. So you just need to be reminded of it, you know. That way you feel like I love what I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I can relate because I mean, I feel like because there was once where I actually had a space like a cafe space.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, then one day, I mean, we had a space for 3 years. Then I kind of like spoke to my partners and I realized that, hey, look, I mean, I love what I'm doing, but it's just like, I think maybe the keyword here is bored, and I love to create things in not the artsy way, but like other things besides, because when I was like working in that space, right, I had to manage the place. I had to think of the other
it's like
things.
all the not fun things, right?
Like
Like keep it going, but like you can't actually focus on what you like to do.
So then I decided that, hey, look, I feel that I could do better if you know all this were not part of it. And I mean, it went great because I the space was not, but the things right now is just like pop-ups and all that. I'm talking, I'm doing more, I'm creating more. That's the beautiful thing. So it's so I kind of can relate. And the thing about taking that step to kind of like let it go, that's the hard part, because you realize that you've built something from scratch, literally from scratch. Then you realize that, but that is the thing that is holding back your, for example, your creativity, the things that is, you know,
that's why I got a manager. No, to be honest, I mean, I'm lucky to be in a position to actually have a really good friend who is actually an artist manager. So she is helping me out because I just want to focus on creating, you know. And that's the thing, like if you just really love focusing on creating, and then like, you know, you just start it up, like we've all been there before, like when we were starting something, and then we had to do like literally everything. And so later on, if you want to keep like doing good work, right, you realize that you do need to free up a little bit more space. And that's what you're talking about, right? You don't want to like, you want to focus on like the creating part. So that way it will improve the cafe, you will improve everything else. But you just, you think like, because you have to do all this, right, you cannot do this because something's got to give.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I think when it came to that mindset, that's when I created like XIV at one point in time, like this company that just handle paperwork for you. So you don't have to think about doing anything else but the creative work. Because we do have to do a lot of things. Like, you know, I think everybody can relate when we say you need to do accounting. You need to do like chasing payments. You need to like do quotations and invoices. It's a lot of shit, man.
Yes, it is.
So like the company was actually meant to take care of that and liaise on your behalf as well. So you can just do the creative work. I'm not very good at running companies, so that closed. But my partner, who's my manager, started her own. So now it's actually ongoing. I'm a silent partner in it, and it's actually it's done so much better, much more for my mental health. So that way she would just help me liaise with the clients, and I'm just like, oh, when is it? Okay, yeah, can, sure, then I just do it. And I'm like so much more like chill.
You're so
now.
lucky.
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. So that way I think that's actually an advice that I got from a friend who's an entrepreneur. Like she's more of a creative one as well. And she told me, get a partner who can do the other side. And so that way you have to make sure you have a very good relationship, you can trust them with your life, that kind. That's very hard to find as well. So I would say that I'm lucky. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I mean, that those years taught me a lot. that you kind
It's
of
hard.
Yeah, it's
I can't even imagine like what you went through, man. That's like hard, man.
but hey, I guess it's a learning process that we get through. Yeah.
Yeah, then you find something that works for you later on, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's a process.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel like for art pieces, right, there's many different kind of interpretation, right?
Yeah,
Are you the kind of artist who would rather let the people kind of like how do I say this, interpret it in their own way, or you're the kind of artist who I mean I'm
It evolves lah, I think.
okay.
Like when I was younger, when I first did my works, it was very specific. That's why it's in typography. It was telling people what to do or what to think or whatnot. But the whole point of it was to try and get their attention in like 5 seconds or like 1 second. I just wanted to get their attention. And so when I did those works, it was very direct. It was specific, site specific. It had to fulfill its function, its purpose, tell people what you have to do. I mean, tell people exactly what the messaging was because it was in a public domain.
Yeah.
And so it was all made to fit. Then that was the ideology behind that. The works now, some of them do have messaging, but I've learned to let go with it because honestly, it's all very subjective.
Yeah.
I hate saying that over and over again. And sometimes, a little bit of me is lazy to describe exactly what it means.
Okay.
I want you to like figure it out yourself because I'm
Figure
just so
figure the
lazy to
shit
like
out.
explain to you. But the thing is that not every piece has to have a message as well. And I learned to embrace that. The thing is that when I first started out, I was like, you guys have the power, like all your artists have the power to like, translate so much feeling and messaging in your works. Why isn't it that, why is it that so many of your works I don't understand? You know what I mean? and then it's just that I always thought like that is the way to go. Like that should be the way. And especially if it's in street art, there's a message, take good use of that advantage. But like that was so naive of me to think that way. And it's not just about relaying a message. And that's why not all my pieces have messaging, because you can just create because you just fucking want to. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And if you can relate to it, you like it. That's it. You get the work because you like it. Simple as that. And every piece that you create is a little bit of you.
Yeah.
Whether it has messaging or doesn't have messaging, it's yours. So essentially that's why I see it is like it doesn't have to have a message all the time. Sometimes the most powerful works convey feelings through the compositions and the color tones and all these different things. And I really appreciate that. But like I said, it's subjective and it's just what I like. So
okay, because I just a thought popped in my head. I mean, clients, right? I mean, do you like, because as artists, right, there's certain ways that you want to kind of like put your artwork out there, right? But is there any like do they like restrict certain things and all that? So,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you share your experiences in that sense, because I feel that that is the I guess that's the hard bit, right? Because you want to create something, but you're also restricted because they have like, do they usually have like, how does an artist deal with that?
Self-policing. How do we deal with self-policing? Well, living in Singapore definitely comes with that lah. I guess. I mean, when it comes to public work, there's also like social responsibilities that you have to kind of fulfill. There are like a lot of them is imposed by IMDA, like no nudity, no profanities, no religious content, no political content, no like whatever fuck. Okay. So we kind of already like follow those guidelines. And the thing is that ever since I started doing public art up to now, like without even saying all those things, right, it's already instinctive that you avoid it. And that's so damn crazy. So especially if you do more commercial works, right, all the more it's like super instilled in you. So I'm like, I won't lie, like, it exists in almost every one of us who are doing like creative works. We all can relate, we know it. And the thing is that we refuse to accept that it's there, but there are certain degrees of like it existing in us. So yeah, it can feel quite like stifling. And I think a lot of people who do like not just art but anything creative when it comes to like podcasts or music or whatnot, right, you also have to stray away from certain topics as well. So I think it's very intriguing. I guess that's why cameras always appear in my works. It's just,
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
Okay.
It is stifling lah. I can feel it. As much as sometimes we say, no, we can feel like, free, but sometimes we don't know that the reason why we work this way is because the systems were put in that place. We just didn't realize it. Yeah.
Okay, but when you do work overseas, right, do you have that kind of restriction?
No, that's the thing. I mean, not all the time. There are some. You see, sometimes we don't know exactly which lines we can not cross or which lines we can cross.
Yeah.
Sometimes the proposals that I send for the works overseas are quite toned down because it's Singapore standard.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then they're like, why you want to paint this up? And then I'm like, kinda, I guess I could go louder. They're like, yeah, just go for it. And so I'm like, yeah, actually I can do this one. You know what I mean?
Because it's really instilled in you, and you kind of like, okay.
Yeah, but like my friend Sheryl, she's an artist as well. She works the opposite.
Okay.
So she'll go damn crazy, and then they're like, can you tone it down? And then she'll tone it down. Then I'm like, that's the difference, no? She left Singapore to go to Brooklyn, and then like she does this amazing works, and then she tells me her process. Then I'm like, I'm the opposite. I'm still in Singapore. I go out, right, I must like bring it up, But for her, she outside, she bring it down. I don't know, man. I'm just talking shit right now. But like, yeah, this is basically that's what we feel.
Okay. I mean, have you ever seen yourself? Have you ever seen yourself kind of like not being in Singapore, living somewhere else? To do your work.
Yeah.
And to live that lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. Berlin, we love that. We love it there.
Okay.
So my best friend is there now. So she's like, when are you coming over? Dude, COVID, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. How far along do you see? I mean, how do you envision it to be sooner or?
I don't know.
Come what may, right?
Yeah, come what may.
Okay. I think you mentioned this already. Like most of your artwork actually kind of like evokes a reaction, right? So kind of like how much does that reaction kind of like matter to you?
To be honest, right, I don't really know because you said like it evokes it. When you first said like, your artworks, they evoke a reaction, then I'm like,
does
it? I know some of the older ones did lah, and that's for sure because like, there was a freaking saga that came out of it, right? But now I don't know. I mean, if you react lah, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really want to go and choke all the time. There are some things that I feel very strongly for, and then like, if you, because it's subjective, if they react to it, they react to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a subjective bit of it again, right? Okay. Yeah. We already mentioned whether an artist can make a living, but it's all about putting in the
work lah, and like getting yourself out there. There are a lot of different things to look out for and like to keep doing and constantly doing.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you can make a living in the arts and you have got to have that stamina.
Okay. What's your advice? As in maybe 3 top advice to
save money.
Okay.
Keep working on your craft. Like, just make sure you keep loving what you do. Put your entire heart in it because like no one else is gonna do it for you. Third thing would be to really the people who really stay in the game the longest, that stamina itself is really what keeps you going. I mean, it really is like one of the secrets to the longevity of it and how you keep doing what you love and adapt despite all the different times that come through. It's really like up to you lah, and that really is the secret to actually really staying like successful, I guess, in your in what you want to do. Yeah. And so in essence, like, oh my god, I had a thought. Fuck, I forgot. I know, shit, man, you infected me.
Oh shit.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Oh yeah, if you want to keep doing what you love, there's nothing wrong with taking a second job if you cannot afford it. Yeah, and it's really okay because a lot of people actually do lead double lives. In fact, sometimes you can influence their work more. When I first started doing what I did, I was working and studying. When I was doing the design stuff, when I was doing the stickers, it was at the same time. And to me, the stickers were my outlet.
Okay.
So sure, it didn't earn me money at the point of time or whatnot, but the thing is, I enjoyed doing that, and that's just exactly the soul of it. That's essentially what it is. You yeah, you will find a way to make money later, but there are different ways you can as well, by like putting your merch out and like doing things like the old school way sometimes, and putting yourself out there and upgrading your, like, you know, keep updating your portfolio. Just keep doing it.
Keep grinding.
Yep. Old school, man. It's really old school.
Okay. Okay, you mentioned all that, right? How do you know your worth, your self-worth, right? I mean, how does one actually
Know their self-worth? Only you know it, right?
True.
How do I know it?
Yeah, as in
Sometimes I don't think about that so much. I just think about what I like to do, and I just get myself lost in doing what I like to do.
okay.
A bit in my bubble, I guess.
Yeah.
This is such a shitty answer, man. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's a shitty answer.
I think that's okay because
Yeah.
that's preserving your own.
Yeah, like self-preservation,
Self-worth,
right?
right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, as you can tell, like, I push a lot of the shit to the back of my head already. So as long as I just keep going, I just find myself in a trajectory.
So when do you learn?
How do you know how much to charge? Is it?
Yes, put it simply. How do you know how much that you can like kind of like charge and all that? Because you see, these things
Okay.
are not out there.
Yeah, correct. It comes
Right?
with experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely market rate. Also, you have friends.
Okay.
Also, you every year. Okay, from what I know, right, your worth or like the pricing in your artworks, right, depends on like your credibility, which equates to the number of years that you spent in the craft itself. Also, if like you have any awards or anything special that happened that's unique, and also the medium, and whether and also the medium. I know there are like a couple of other criteria when it comes to artwork. That's more of the things lah, that especially in the fine art world, that's how they'll quantify it.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, I'm not don't quote me. I'm not very, very sure, but that's some of the few points that I know of.
Okay.
But when it comes to like work outside, number of years you are in the practice, the different people that you've worked with as well play a part. Your portfolio is so important. So basically all those things, and also the years that you continue doing the work, right? Your pricing will should gradually increase. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's from experience, right? I mean, you put across to a client and see it, and
Yeah, market rate also lor.
Yeah.
Really, really market rate.
so the main thing is that, so that's why, I mean, I guess it's the most important thing is also that you mentioned earlier on, is to kind of like put your work out there, because if you don't, who knows the work that
Yeah,
you
you kind of have to in this climate. I mean, ideally, I'm not very social media savvy. My fiance totally agrees with me on that.
Okay.
And so I have to like push myself to go and do it lah, but it's really important that I do so as well. That way, it does motivate me to account for it and like to make more work. That's one thing. And to put yourself out there so that way they can see what you're into right now and whether you like they can actually commission you for something, and that's how I make my bread and butter lah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good advice actually. This is a bit deep, but okay, so what is your why? Your drive when you get up in the morning?
I just want to know what I can learn today.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I just want to know what I can do today and what I can learn today. For example, right now I'm working on a series of different illustrations, and so I can't wait to read out about learn new concepts and how that influences my way of thinking and how I can translate that. So right now I'm like really into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, as I'm sitting here and I'm reading a bit more about you, right? Then I realized that you are someone who dabbles with everything. And some people
Short attention span actually.
Same here. I also short attention span. People say, "What do you do?" What do I list up? But but I feel that is who you are as a person, because you want to kind of like you want to learn in different aspects of things that you can pick up, and it kind of adds the value to what you can, give back.
Yeah,
And-
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I love making things ever since I was a kid, and I still do. Yeah. So I really want to keep doing that as long as I can. And learn more things. Just damn simple, man.
It's not simple.
Sorry, it's damn straightforward.
I mean, to you it's straightforward, but people don't understand why. You know, like a jack of all trades and master of none, right?
You mean that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
like
okay,
you know, like
okay.
different. But the thing is, it's not true. I feel that for me, it's a personal. I mean, it's my own. It's like I would rather dabble in a lot of things. But because I also learned that to a certain extent, there's certain degree of an understanding in whatever that I'm doing, and that provides a different level of understanding. You know, an element.
Actually, right. Sorry, now that you mentioned this, right, I just got reminded. Like, you know, actually, it's a good thing that you're doing different things. For example, I think there's a. I'm very bad at remembering names. Okay, but like there was this article that I read about how like this scientist was able to like crack this code, and so the thing is, creative people, or like, you know, actually anybody really, they have to do like different things in order to like revisit it with fresh eyes. For example, I'm working on this project now that's actually like an illustration, right? And I'm like doing it, and after a while, like, wow, mental block or whatnot, and so I take my attention away from it, and I like maybe do some like sculpting or maybe something not art related, and then I like, you know, I do that at the same time, and then when I revisit this again, right, it's like with fresh eyes, because it does engage different parts of your brain, and actually it does help you stay more creative. So it's a very good exercise. So that's why I like to do different things all the time, even though they still function within the art sphere, but like because they're different techniques, right, I'm like constantly engaged. If I just hate everything that I'm doing at that point in time, I just go and play games.
Okay, what is your most humbling experience?
Definitely when the case lah, for sure. It was very humbling because I saw like how people come together, what they could do. It was still the most memorable and moving experience for me. Yeah, like when the case happened and like, you know, the arrest and everything, there was a lot of noise, a lot of people were saying things about it, but there was a petition, there was like a letter being written by the minister, there was like a lot of people who were in support, and they were like helping me out, they were like paying, they're like suggesting lawyers for me, they were they raised money for my what's that called, my damages. And so they were moved to do something, you know, and because they related to the work itself, and they didn't want that happening to me, and so that itself was just amazing, and that was still very humbling, like how something could bring people together and the things that people together can do.
I mean, it's still amazing, the power of people, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing that I wake up to every day, because I remind myself of that, and I see the good in people, and that really, it moves me up to now.
Okay, 3 lessons. I mean, if today was your last day on earth and to leave your wisdom behind. 3 lessons or 3 truths.
Sometimes all it takes is a different perspective on something you think is all tired out. Like the board thing I mentioned earlier on. Hard work. Hard work is, I know it's a lot of people stress on it, but like it can be fun. Cracking up myself, my god. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that when I learn something new, when I go into it, I can get lost in it. I don't know if it's applicable for a lot of people, but I really do enjoy that process of it. And I'm also someone who actually really enjoys like being like putting that pressure on myself as well. I don't know if people can relate to that, so it may not be the wisest thing I'll be saying because it's very personal. And the third thing is just always put your heart in it, lor. Yeah, put your heart in it. That way it will really like lead you to where you should be going. Like attracts like. And just make sure, because when you put your heart in it, right, you're very honest about it as well, and that will naturally attract you to things, pull things to you that are meant for you.
Okay. Your very own definition of legacy.
Legacy?
Yeah, your very own definition, not the dictionary definition. Legacy.
Oh my god, why is this question so loaded? So heavy.
We had fun.
Never that time to think about legacy, you know. I just want to like go home and like draw my shit.
Yeah, it's true, but you see it just in a different perspective. I mean, you are kind of living your legacy, right? Stress.
Yeah, I never think so far. Like, people make what they want out of it. Well, if, okay, still no answer for you, man. Let me see. Like, I don't even think I'm even that person to even leave a legacy,
But
you know?
I feel that everyone leaves their own legacy in a different way. That's why I feel like it's very. I mean, that's why we kind of want like for you to kind of think about your own legacy, your own very definition of legacy. As in, why do you do the work that you do, right? I mean, I know it's for yourself, but you also mentioned that it's also for, you think about the goodness in people, or you kind of like want to kind of like awake them in their senses of different perspective of your art that you actually put out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the work is... Recently, the works have been like for myself, I guess. And in hopes of relating. But truth is, people have always inspired it. Always. And it's always like... That's really the main driving force behind it. And the messages are for them, like the rat race one, and also like the pink dot one I mentioned earlier on. And a lot of other works are actually talking about societal differences. If anything, I want them to think that they are free as long as their mind allows it to. Yeah, sure, there are legislations and everything. There's a law. But like, people do break the laws. I'm not telling you to break the law, by the way, but
Don't
I'm just
break
saying,
the law, please.
what I'm just trying to say is that you are free as what your mind allows you to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that itself it's your legacy, and people. I mean, if there's something that you want to kind of pass it on, I feel that for now,
I guess
for now,
so. I guess so. For now, I
Yeah.
guess it's just like such a big word for me. I never even think that far.
Yeah. So this is fun stuff. Okay. So
Okay.
I asked you just now, your favorite artwork to date.
Favorite artwork to date, Rat Race. Yep.
Okay. Craziest thing that you've ever done.
Craziest thing I've ever done. Painted in different spots in the world, I guess. That. Gosh, so many crazy things that mostly done overseas.
Can you say it?
I don't know if I can. Move on. Let's move on.
Okay. If you were, I mean, okay, strangest thing that you said to a stranger.
The strangest thing I've said to a stranger.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish you asked me this earlier on. I can prepare my questions, with my answers. Strangest thing I've said to. Oh my god, there's this girl.
Okay.
Okay, it's not strange lah. Okay, but it's one of the things I remember right now. But like, she worked at Starbucks, and her name was Rachel. She didn't poor thing. Okay, and then like her name tag actually said Ratchet. And I just straight up before I gave my order, I was like, sorry, does that say Ratchet? Okay, it's not. But the thing is that I feel like it was probably a strange thing to ask because like she did not receive it well. She just like. Yeah, kind of thing. Okay, that's not the strangest thing lah. Sorry, I just like I do not do well under pressure when I come up with answers like in like 1 minute or less. It's just the first thing I thought.
Okay, this is okay. If you're stuck on an island, if there's one thing that you could have with you, what would it be?
My fiance.
Okay. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so we can figure out how to get out of it. She's smarter than me.
Wise, very wise. Okay, last one. Zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon?
Oh, my weapon. Okay. I've thought about it so many times. It's not just one weapon. It's actually a whole strategy about what we're gonna do.
Oh my god, I just found someone who can be my zombie apocalypse team.
No, the thing is that, my fiance and I discussed this. Like, if any of our friends, right, got bitten, right, that could be our weapon.
Okay.
But the thing is that we're gonna rip out that lower jaw first and make sure that they cannot bite us, but we can still use them. So it could be a weapon. First thing, where we're gonna go, we're gonna pick up supplies, so many things. Yeah, not weapon per se, but whatever we can find at the moment. And then I don't think we can get access to guns, but we can craft something out. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Like you, it evolves along the journey.
Yeah, you
right?
have to adapt to it, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
serious.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, how can we support you? I mean, we all know that. Okay, your Instagram, your how.
I have a web store coming up, so I'll be releasing prints finally of all the illustrations that I've been doing. Not all. I mean, these are the works that are like really from my heart. So I really hope that it goes well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sculptures and like works, non-commercial stuff.